Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now. High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now. High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now.
Live on High Impact TV on Iconsat 42 degree East. We are also live on YouTube, High Impact 102.1 FM, and on X at High Impact 102.1 FM. I am Olumide Shokoya. On the program, we discuss actions and inactions of government, ministries, departments, agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview. The program also encapsulates personalities, institutions that make decisions that affect the lives of the people one way or the other. And then we avail you, our listener, the opportunity of calling into the program to ask questions on the discussion today. Once again, welcome to On Record, where every word matters. Just recently, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has asked the Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN, to suspend implementation of the controversial cybersecurity levy policy. Now, the president has also ordered a review. Now, this followed the decision of the House of Representatives, which asked the CBN to withdraw its circular directing all banks to commence charging a 0.5% cybersecurity levy on all electronic transactions in the country. Now, on the 6th of May 2024, the CBN issued a circular mandating all banks, mobile money operators, and payment service providers to implement a new cybersecurity levy following the provisions laid out in the Cybercrime Act 2024. Now, the introduction of the new levy sparked reactions among stakeholders. According to them, the levy would raise the cost of conducting business in Nigeria and could potentially hinder the growth of digital transaction adoption. But following the president's decision, Debo Olugunagba, the National Publicity Secretary, the People's Democratic Party (PDP), welcomed the suspension of the implementation of the policy, noting that it should not have been introduced in the first place. Also, the director of Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership, Debo Adeniran, said while President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be commended for the decision, the federal government should also consider a total cancellation of the policy instead of a temporary suspension. The phone line is open, 0700 1021 1021. You can also send WhatsApp message to 0907 224 5018. We are live also on YouTube at High Impact 102.1 FM and on X at High Impact 102.1 FM. You can also watch us live on Iconsat 42 degree East. We'll take a breather here and return to begin the conversation. Stay tuned.
Foment, foment, foment.
Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now.
Something big is in town. Something powerful and majestic. A mammoth creation destined to become a legend by all who encounter it. High Impact Planet, Nigeria's biggest family theme park, with facilities designed for friends, families, or large groups under a relaxing atmosphere. Be welcomed by wowing displays of animatronics, thrill out with realistic arcade games, or enjoy a number of thrilling heart-racing park rides. Experience the 5D and 12D cinemas and challenge your mates with bumper cars and go-kart races. Don't forget to slide into the ice rink or simply take time out to enjoy a pizza at our delightful restaurant and dessert spot, or at the exquisite club lounge. High Impact Planet, 12 Lagos Ibadan Expressway, Ibafo, opposite MFM Prayer City. Visit High-Impact.
Welcome back to On Record, when every mod matters, on High Impact 102.1 FM. We are live on YouTube, High Impact 102.1 FM. We're also live on X at High Impact 102.1 FM. You can also watch us live on High Impact TV. That's on Nikonsat 42 degree East. The topic for discussion today is the suspension and review of the cybersecurity levy. And joining us for an in-depth analysis is Lekon Shote. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine. Glad to have you join us today.
Okay, thank you for having me.
All right. Yes, as you're aware, President Tinubu has ordered for the suspension and a review of the cybersecurity levy. Now, while this has drawn applause from some quarters, some other quarters are calling for the total cancellation. Which are you tilting to, or what's your take on this?
Well, my impression is that we are looking at a government that is doing what you call a guessing game. I would have thought that this government will come up with a well thought out plan on practically everything. When they keep flip-flopping over policies, and they've done that several times, and they explain it by saying, oh, this is a listening president. I get the impression that we have a team of people who are not prepared for what they campaign for. That's my first impression, Even though, again, there's nothing wrong in correcting yourself, but it's getting to be too often. That, like I said, people are not thinking too deeply before they take a decision or initiate a policy. But should it be cancelled? I think so. Because we are overtaxed. There are too many taxes. Too very many taxes. If we want to look at banks, I imagine my money is in a bank.
Okay.
And the bank can use my money to give out loans to people. And then I'm still being charged for maintenance fee of my money, which they are using to, give loans to other people. I should be pay an interest, even if it is a current account. So I think this should go really.
All right, now let's take a look at the levy itself. We are being told that this electricity tariff hike, or the electricity subsidy removal, only affects the Band A customers, which supposed to be getting 20 to 22 hours supply of uninterrupted power. Now, would you say the timing is inappropriate, or what would you say about this particular levy? Would you say the timing is inappropriate?
Yeah, exactly. See, one, you have removed subsidy on petrol. You have now removed subsidy on electricity. We have not yet settled that. We are even contesting that, especially the electricity tariff that you have reviewed. We are still contesting that. We have not. I understand that the Labour Congress is going to go on strike in a few days.
Today.
Very soon. Yeah. So we are still contesting that. Then you bring something else again. It's as if you want to tax the people to death. And I don't understand it. I begin to get an impression of people who are not imaginative. See, you need to run the economy first, and then help people to make money. My own father has 2 textile industries that are not working right now because of government policy, because of electricity that is inadequate. Even right now, I live in what you call Band A.
Yes.
I think it's now about 5 or 6 times what I used to pay. Yet that 22 or is it 20 hours per day that is promised is not delivered. I'm paying premium for nothing. I'm not getting that 20 hours per day, as they say. There was about a week. I decided to sit, for about 3 or 4 days. I decided to sit at home to observe the supply of electricity. It is not up to 20 hours that they have promised. That I'm already paying the premium about 5 or 6 times what I used to pay.
Okay, so hypothetically speaking, if you are getting 20 to 22 hours of uninterrupted power supply, would you not mind paying this tariff?
Listen, for you to come up with Band A the way they have come up with it, it shows the explanation behind it is that, okay, we cannot produce everything for everybody. Let us give it to those who can pay for it. Yes. Listen, the problem is not the tariff. The problem is the federal government itself. Look at the template, the model of electricity supply in Nigeria. You have GenCos that produce electricity. Yes. I understand that they can produce about 14,000 megawatts a day. Whereas the transmission company, which is owned by the federal government 100%, has 7,000 megawatts capacity. That definitely limits, what it can carry, what it can take from the GenCos. Of course, that limits what the discos can take and sell to us. And so when GenCos produce electricity and they cannot upload to the national grid, they will not be able to get money. They cannot get paid because they have not made sales. Therefore, they cannot pay for those who supply them with the gas. So my take is this. If the government insists on owning the national grid 100%, government should first invest in that to expand and upgrade the facilities of the national grid, so that whatever quantity. And let's say, for example, if they upgrade the national grid to 20,000 megawatts capacity, it means then that the GenCos can expand their facilities, take loans. They have a place to supply to whatever they produce to. The national grid will take it, and then they can pay those who sell gas to them. So federal government should first take that decision first and work on that before taxing us, because as far as I'm concerned, this tariff is a form of taxation. We are already paying several taxes. Then you now come and you call it Band A, which is not even effective. We are paying premium for darkness. We are not, where I am in Ikeja here, it's called Band A. I have not gotten 20 hours per day. So I am not in support of this Band A. It is a lazy man's approach to solving the problem. The problem is to expand the national grid so that whatever the GenCos produce can be sold off and be paid for. People are waiting to pay. So it is the inefficiency of government policy that we are compelled to pay for. And I think that is unfair to us, and it's also unfair to those in band B, C, D, E, or out of the loop who do not get electricity at all. Are you saying that electricity is for the rich only? That is the argument of this Band A, Band B thing. And in any case, if you want to put me in Band A or Band B or Band C, you need to negotiate with me. You don't just say, oh, because I live in Manana Island, therefore I must be in Band A. No, you have to negotiate with me. First, as an individual, I have to say, yes, I'm willing to pay. I have the capacity to pay. You don't impose any premium payment on me. It is wrong.
All right, thank you very much for that. Let's look at in recent years, I know we heard that Nigeria signed a deal with Germany to establish some power plants. We do not know the update of that. Recently, we heard about another deal of Russia planning to invest in Nigeria and set up a nuclear power plant. What's your thought on this? Why do we always get this report, but we never get updates about what happens? It's almost as if it never sees the light of the day.
Let me take you back to two previous administrations in this country. The Western Region administration of the 1950s and early 1960s, they always had a plan for practically everything, a thought-out plan. That is the government of Awolowo and the government of Akintola. They always had a well-thought-out plan. Then the Yakubu Gowon administration, they have National Development Plan. 4 years or at least 4 or 5 years development plan. They always had it. So which means that somebody has sat down to think through what do we want? What do we want for ourselves? And then they follow through, they supervise those things, they ensure that it's done. But where you have people who just, it's like a guessing game, like I said, you come into governance, there's no document, there's no, it doesn't show that we have thought about each of the problems. Awolowo will tell you, on agriculture, this is what we are going to do. On education, this is what we are going to do. On health, this is what we are going to do. On housing, this is what we are going to do. On industrialization, this is what we are going to do. I have not seen any manifesto since this Fourth Republic started of any political party or any presidential or even governorship candidate telling us exactly what they want to do in detail. What we hear is sloganeering. It's just slogan. Power to the people, that's all we get. Nothing concrete. And then you go to rallies. Except for the political aspirants to be telling the people what they are going to be doing. They bring musicians to be playing for them. So that just tells you the state of politics in Nigeria. We have just messed ourselves up by the wrong people that we put up as our political leaders. So inconsistencies will always occur when there is no thought out. Listen, do you know that in some countries, in North American and Western European countries, their plan, their budget, when a government comes in now, it is planning for the next 5-6 years budget, not even the one that is going to implement next year. Because the previous government has already thought of that. So there's consistency, and there's what you call institutional memory within the civil service. Guess what? When Babangida was president, military president, we had what they called Better Life for Rural Women. As soon as he left, Abacha came in. The wife started family support program. There's no consistency. Everybody keeps coming with something. There's no way, and as soon as they leave the government, so another program comes. They abandon what they have done. So that is there is no institutional memory, and that is the problem that we are having with this fumbling political class that we have in Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much, Lekon Shote. Now, some Nigerians have called this current administration tax reform as burdensome. Now, however, Vice President Kashima Shettima said that the tax reforms undertaken by the Bola Tinubu administration are not aimed at frustrating Nigerians, but is meant to sustain the country's investment friendliness. What's your reaction to this?
Well, he's the salesman for the government. So what do you expect him to say? He's a salesman, and in any case, it's not bothering somebody. If you have been living after you left Zenith Bank, and then you started working as a governor, as commissioner, and all that, you have been on government upkeep for years. You could become insensitive to what is happening around you. If government is taking care of you for more than 20 years or so, you become, careless, and you can't see what the ordinary person is seeing. And I think that's the problem with the vice president. Like I said, he's a salesman for the government. What do you expect him to say? He has to say something, that what you need to do is go to the street and ask the people who are suffering, who cannot buy what they used to buy, anymore, or buy the quantity and the quality of even organic consumer items. Listen, the gas, just about 3 years ago, the gas cylinder and the 10.5 kg gas was just 3,000 naira. Now, in less than 3 years, it is now 16,500. Is that what you're supposed to be celebrating? So, for somebody, in any case, what is the tax reform that he's talking about? Have we seen it? Has somebody rolled it out? Have they explained it in clear terms? Because I don't know what they are talking about. You need to itemize what you are talking about. Then we see it. Then some of us, I happen to be an accountant, I can then look at it and say, okay, I think I understand what you're saying. There's nothing. You are just telling us that you have to something. We have not seen it. So I'm not completely impressed by what the Vice President is saying.
All right, thank you very much. Now let's look at some of these policies. Over this couple of months that this administration took over, we've had different policies being announced and suspended after so many reactions. Oh, okay, please hold on. We have a call. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, please keep your calls coming in. As I was saying earlier on, we've had different policies being announced and later suspended after so many negative reactions. Do you think the president has capable hands in his cabinet? Is he being well advised about some of these policies that are being reeled out?
Like I said earlier on, I don't see a well thought out plan. But nothing is perfect. I understand that, and nobody should say that you cannot be subject to correction when you hear superior argument. I don't have any problem with that. But this is happening too often, and it's looking. It should not be about the quality, or efficacy of the rules of the policies. It should be about the efficacy of the policies, not like a guessing game that we are dealing with now. It appears, like I say, somebody has not quite thought out what he wanted to do. There's been no consultation. For example, you want to remove fuel subsidy. For example, I don't have problem with you removing fuel subsidy. I would have thought that you would then think of mass transit, like the CNG. You would have buses, vehicles that will use gas. You make that available. Number one. Then, railway lines like Lagos Red Line and Blue Line, you make it available at least in all the major cities, so that people, the masses the commuters who use mass transit, you want to win us from using our cars, then you should make an alternative available and comfortable for us. That is what you would have thought of that and planned it and done it well. And then you can then raise the subsidy. You will gladly move. I lived in America for some years. For about 2 or 3 years, I didn't have a car because I didn't need a car. From my school to my job to my house, there's no way. If I'm going to the club over the weekend, I will call a cab. They come and pick me. They will drop me. When I'm leaving from the cab, I will pick my phone, call the cab. They come and pick me, bring me back home. I didn't need a car until I moved to another part of America where the busing and railway system was not that efficient. Okay? So I then had to buy a car. So we need to think about these things before we start implementing. You are making the life of people painful. You are inflicting pains on people. It doesn't mean, you may have good intentions, but good intention is not enough. You need to think through so that you do not inflict pain on people. Then we need to see evidence that you have thought about the issues before you implement them as policies. But you just drop policies and then you now start saying, okay, this is a listening president. After disrupting all that, seeing the former CBN governor who said he was changing the naira without thinking it through. See what we went through late 2022 to early 2023. See the disruption. Even we have not even escaped from it now. From that disruption. Somebody just came with a policy not well thought out. It may be a good policy to digitize the economy so that we have you have a cashless economy. I get all that. But you need to think it through. It should not be that you will make people suffer because you want to implement policies. The policies should be to our advantage. Look at those who are doing the national identity. Have you gotten your ID card? I applied for one February 2018. Even did everything. They get giving me temporary. Just 2 days ago, there's an announcement. You will now have to pay. Why didn't they tell us that time so that we pay? In any case, I even paid something before I got the temporary that they gave to me. And then they start telling me they're going to be sending the text message. For the past 5 or 6 years now, sending text messages, which we never sent. Every time I go there, they say I should still go away. And they will send text messages. Since February 2018 up to now, May 2024, there is no text message 6 years after.
Thank you very much.
So,
Okay.
So we can't be doing, I don't know if you understand what we call the that we are doing. It's not impressive.
All right. Now, before we go on a break, now that President Tinubu has ordered for a review, what factors do you think should be considered in this review? I know earlier on you mentioned that people who are not given the option of choosing which band they want to be in, they are just placed on a particular band without any prior notice or option.
Yes. Hello?
Yes, I said what factors should be considered in this review that President Bola Tinubu has ordered for. I know earlier on you mentioned...
If you don't cancel it, what is it? But in any case, let me point out something. There's something that Attorney Femi Falana said.
Okay.
And so I begin to think that we even have some illiteracy in the central bank. If you read section 44(2)(a) of that Cyber Security Act,
yes,
it says that the levy should be for businesses in that sector, in the telecoms, in the internet providers, in the banks, in the insurance companies, in the stock exchange. You know, it says the businesses. It did not say individual. So I think those lawyers in the central bank need to go and look at that law again. Then the Ministry of Justice under Lateef Fagbemi needs to review that, to read it again and understand who is supposed to pay the levy. Is it the businesses, which I interpret to mean the companies operating in that sector, and not the individuals? So we need to get that right. So I think, some people they have not paid attention. They're just looking for money any which way, and then they just impose a levy on people. Thank God they even made that mistake, and then people can point out. Farano has pointed that one out. The Federal Bank should take a second look at that act, section 44(2)(a), which says it is the businesses. It did not say the customers or the clients of those businesses. It says it is the businesses, and that for me means the companies that operate in that sector, in those sectors. That's my understanding of what law says and what Kevin Falana is trying to point out. We should look at that and be clear about it. The lawyers should come and talk to us about it. Regularly and open debate, by the lawyers of the Central Bank and the lawyers of the Federal Ministry of Justice. So they can guide us and lead us. That's my take on that.
All right. Thank you very much, Lekon Shote. Please kindly hold on, or let's quickly go on a short break. And when we come back, we'll continue with the program.
Welcome to On Record.
Every word matters.
What I want to do is to take Nigeria from consumption to production.
My name is Mr. Innocent Chugoma. I started by trading on motorcycle spare parts.
They really ask, how much is the Nigerian life worth?
Policing is everybody's business, not the business of the men on uniform alone.
We will establish student loan 4 years course. Must be 4 years course.
When you dispense, a pharmacist dispenses a drug to a patient, the name of the drug must be written on the envelope.
On Record is a 45-minute program where we discuss the actions, inactions of government, ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview.
Join us 9 a.m. every weekday on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. On Record.
Every word matters.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
Welcome back to On Record, where every word matters on High Impact 102.1 FM. You can also watch us live on High Impact TV on Iconsat 42 East. We're also live on YouTube at High Impact 102.1 FM and on X at High Impact 102.1 FM. You can also call us on 0700 1021 1021, 0700 1021 1021. You can also send WhatsApp message to 0907 224 5018. We're still looking at President Tinubu's call for suspension and review of the cybersecurity levy with Leko Shote. I know you mentioned something about having a listening ear earlier on. Some people have also said it that the president's swift action can be termed as a listening president, or he could be said to be a listening president. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think I've said that before. I mean, there's nothing wrong in being a listening president. But my worry is, why are you fumbling all the time? Why is it that the policies you come up with are something that will inflict? I cannot see any well thought out plan. That's my problem. That's the issue. The government is there to formulate policies for good governance. You formulate policies, it doesn't look as if you thought it through. And then people now point it out to you, they now come and say, oh, I'm a listening president. Is that what they voted you to come and do? To be reviewing yourself all the time? When will you do the job? Yoruba says that if you use 20 years to plan madness, when are you going to do the madness? You know, I think that's something we need to look at. We can't begin to continue to have things like this. Somebody must have thought through before they offer themselves for leadership position in this country. You can't come there and go and be doing guessing game. That's not the way it's supposed to be. You know, I expect a cohesive. When you have thought out your plan and you are implementing it in a cohesive way, you will see. Even if there are problems, you will see that okay, these people are working towards this and the others. They have applying their plan and policies. Okay, let's see how it goes. But you just come out, make an announcement in the news, you know, and then you don't even, you yourself, you are scrambling. You cannot even fully explain what you have done. And then you come and tell me that you are a listening government. I'm not, that doesn't impress me at all.
So, in your own term, you do not agree that President Tinubu is a listening president. I mean, looking at the swift action he took by suspending and calling for a review.
No, I've said this. There's nothing wrong in being a listening president. But what I'm saying is that why do you keep coming up with policies that you have to review all the time? You know, why do you have to? You know, if it's a listening president, why haven't you reviewed the reverse the fuel subsidy? Why hasn't he reversed the unification of the exchange rate? You know, why hasn't he, reviewed the band A, band B, or whatever? Why hasn't he? He's choosing, he's cherry picking what he will. Then he come and tell us, oh, the other levies, and we will suspend that until September. They want to push this one to us first. But luckily, people have raised even the House of Representatives has spoken against this levy. Then don't forget that 40% of that levy is supposed to be dedicated to fighting terrorism. Does it mean there is no vote in our budget to fight terrorism? This cyber security levy, 40% of it is supposed to be used to fight terrorism. Does it mean we don't have money to fight terrorism? All those huge security votes that governors and presidents are getting, what do they do with it? They now want to tax us again to come and be paying for security, which they are not even providing. Just how many days ago, some people were kidnapped in one university in Kogi State. I think they were freed yesterday. So, what are we talking about? They're just raising money, for what? To finance people's expensive lifestyles. All you see then is in black jeeps all over the place. How can one man be traveling 10, 20, 30 vehicles will follow him? All fuel. In this day and age that we say fuel is expensive. And then we say government is too big. And then you are fueling 20, 30 cars just because one individual is going from point A to point B. What are we talking about?
All right, last week, a guest on our program said that this particular administration, they lack what we call stakeholders engagement before implementing policies. Do you agree with this?
Well, I will say something that I have seen them engage stakeholders.
Okay.
I've been invited to forums where we sat with some ministers, some players in the government. But my worry is that it is when the crisis starts that they now start to engage people. When you engage, it's not to engage the media, it is to engage the people who will feel the impact of the policy. You need to engage researchers, people who will go out in the field, and like you do marketing surveys, people who go out in the field and conduct surveys and come up with reports, scientific reports that say this is what the people are thinking, this is what the people need. I tell you a story. Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte of France in the 18th century, I think, was said to be trying to allow people to have access to it. So people were always writing him letters. We want water, we want life, we want road, we want food, we want this. So people will now have to read all those things. It got to a point that he understood that people were asking for roughly about 13 different items. The thousands of people, they were asking for the same thing. Okay? So he came up with the idea that, so when they bring all the letters, instead of reading the letters one by one by the president, they sort it out. It usually comes to about 13 heaps. And you discover that the people are not asking for more than those 13 items. So they began to implement those things. So that is, for me, stakeholder engagement. It is not when you create a crisis that you now begin to attempt to kill the brush fires. No. But again, there's nothing wrong. I mean, I'm a PR person. I know that when there's crisis, which you don't plan for, it happens, you need to kill the brush fires. Yeah, I understand. But if it's becoming almost your article of trade, then I'm getting worried. That is, you cannot be doing government by guessing. It has to be well thought out. Yes, even after you have thought it out and you have sounded it out with people, and if there is a superior argument that you never consider, yes, you concede. I understand that. That is what democracy is all about. That is what intelligent administration is all about. Yes, you listen to other people who may have superior arguments, and then you implement and you move on. After all, the policies of God is not about you, it's about the people, which includes you yourself.
All right, thank you very much, Lekon Shote. Lastly, before we go, this cybersecurity levy also generated some reactions, disagreement between the upper and the lower chambers. And also last week, our guest talked about how some of our legislators are not carrying their constituencies along. So what role can the National Assembly, both the upper and the lower chamber, what role can they play in carrying their constituency along so that we are aware, even before some of these bills are being passed into law, we are aware, we can debate, we can give our own input. The constituencies are carried along so that, no policy is passed without, the people being aware of it.
Let me take you back to my government class in secondary school. They taught us that legislators are supposed to have constituency offices and are supposed to be coming home over the weekend to meet with members of their constituency. That is what we were taught in school. That's what they were taught, telling us about the parliamentary system, which is, we call it legislature. Legislators are supposed to come home. Well, if it becomes expensive or dangerous to travel every weekend, then maybe every 2 weeks, or maybe even once a month, you come home and relate with your people and sit down in your constituency office, in your constituency, whether it is in Gembu, whether it is in Lagos, whether it is in Sambisa Forest, wherever it is, you're supposed to sit down with them and listen to what your people are talking about. That is the job of legislators anyway. You're supposed to take what the needs of your people, take it to the National Assembly, and then federal government, the executive branch can initiate policies, laws. Also, the legislators too are allowed to initiate laws. So, but you go there, you go and sit down at Abuja, and then you are collecting that must go, and then when you even listen to the quality of debate in the Senate, and you know that these are jokers also. So you look at some of them, you know that these people don't even know they are right from their left. All you have gone to do is just to go and collect the allowances there. And then when they come home and then they buy spaghetti, and then they are sharing spaghetti to you. If you are lucky, if you are getting married, they will support you. Or you are burying your grandfather, they will support you with 50,000 naira. Or you are getting married, they will support you with 100,000 naira. That's all they do. They spend money. Instead of, you don't throw money at every problem. You have to sit down and think through what are the problems that I have identified. There should be somebody, an administrator in each of the constituency offices who is collating the demands, the requirements of the people, who will go out and do all those things, check. I remember I was reading the autobiography of Ayo Adebanjo. He says when he was organizing Secretary of Action Group in the Remo area, he would go around to meet the people at the grassroots level, finding out what do they need, and also explaining the policies of government to them at the grassroots of the action group government to the people at the grassroots.
Okay.
And then whatever I say, he brings it back to. He was not an elected officer, but he brings all those things back into the party, and that will then filter into the Western Nigeria House of Assembly for credible laws. It will also be filtered into the action group government led by Obafemi Awolowo and Lado Akintola in the 1950s. That is the way it's supposed to be. We don't do that anymore. I remember a senator in my distance. He had an office. Each time I drive to, it is always locked. Thank God, we only did one time and left. I never saw that office open.
All right, thank you very much, Lekon Shote. Thank you very much for taking part in the discussion. We do appreciate your contribution.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too. This is where we round off the program on record, where every word matters, on High Impact 102.1 FM. Many thanks for tuning in. Keep listening to High Impact 102.1 FM and keep watching High Impact TV on Iconsat 42 Degree East. I am Olumide Shokoya. Good morning.
If it's public opinion, expert analysis, information that matters to you, we have it on record Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700-1021-1021. WhatsApp 0907-224-5018.
Welcome to the high side of life. Join us every day at High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
I just want to be